Long ago, Queen Maya Devi was traveling to her parents' home when she stopped to rest in a beautiful, serene garden in Lumbini. According to the ancient story, she took hold of a sal tree branch and gave birth to a son. Legend says the infant immediately took 7 steps, with lotus flowers spontaneously blooming beneath his feet with every stride. For hundreds of millions of people, this legend functions as a foundational reality, defining the spiritual lives of practitioners across the globe. The child born in that garden was Prince Siddhartha Gautama. We know him better by his later title, the Buddha, or the Awakened One. But this beautiful mythology presents a historical challenge. For a long time, it was difficult to distinguish the details of the magical folklore from the life of the mortal man. The reality is that for centuries after Siddhartha's life, there was no known contemporary physical evidence proving he ever existed. The earliest proofs researchers had were texts written long after his death and stone pillars erected by Emperor Ashoka. Because of this massive chronological gap, modern scholars debated his exact timeline, or whether the man was a complete historical fabrication. That ambiguity lasted until 2013, when a major excavation at the Maya Devi Temple in Lumbini, Nepal, began to uncover a sequence of structures previously hidden from history. These findings move the origin of Buddhism beyond the limits of textual tradition and into the physical record. Inside the sacred temple at Lumbini, archaeologists started digging directly beneath the remains of Emperor Ashoka's known 3rd century BCE brick structures. Underneath that masonry, they uncovered the remains of a previously unknown, much older timber structure. As this timeline of earth layer shows, dating proved this timber structure was built in the 6th century BCE, the exact era Siddhartha lived. The building's design features an open central space, indicating it was constructed as a tree shrine. This provides a physical link to the ancient nativity legend, where Queen Maya Devi gave birth to Siddhartha while holding the branch of a tree. This is the first piece of archaeological material linking the beginning of Buddhism to a specific century, demonstrating that the legends were built around a real place in time. To understand the man who inspired that timber shrine, we have to look at the world as it existed in that specific century. In the 6th century BCE, Indian society was governed by a rigid Brahmanical order. Society was locked into a strict hierarchy defined by inequality, where exclusionary rituals dictated a person's worth, and social mobility was non-existent. When Siddhartha chose to leave his life as a prince, he was stepping away from this deeply entrenched system. His departure was a direct confrontation with the social status quo. He sought bodhi, or awakening, an intellectual response to the exclusion and suffering he saw in the ritualized world around him. He proposed a system of liberation through personal morality and self-effort. By rejecting birth-based distinctions, he made a path to freedom available to anyone, regardless of caste. He structured this solution to human suffering around practical teachings, laying out the 4 noble truths and outlining the moral discipline required in the Eightfold Path. This radical philosophy survived beyond his own lifetime because it was institutionalized into the Sangha, a highly structured monastic community. As we can see on this map, the catalyst for the movement's global expansion came hundreds of years later, when Emperor Ashoka adopted the religion and used his state resources to spread it across the Asian continent. That combination of state sponsorship and an inherently equalizing philosophy transformed a local social rebellion into a foundational pillar of Asian civilization. The magical myth of a prince's birth is answered by the historical reality of a thinker proposing a rational middle way in an unequal world. The archaeological findings at Lumbini prove that the historical Buddha is as real as the ancient roots discovered beneath the temple bricks. But while the timber remnants and tree shrines validate his existence in the earth, his actual legacy is found in the concepts he left behind. The true origin of this history is a humanistic, philosophical revolution that reshaped the world, proving that every great journey begins with one small step.